Hey guys, future Adam here. Don't mind me, I've just washed my face. I've just got a McIver face mask on. But I have the most amazing news ever. As of right now, this moment, I am a Plouise affiliate. So if you use the code that's on the screen, adamashman10, you get 10% off all full price cosmetics, and you even get it off the fashion. They're coming out with skincare, they're coming out with other palettes. Like, I'm just so happy. This means the absolute world to me. I just love Plouise, and obviously I've got training there, and for this to happen and for me to be an affiliate with them now, it's just a dream come true. So yeah, I thought I'd put it in now so you could go shopping if you see any. So yeah, if you see anything you want, even like the palette, if you want the bases, like literally anything, the brushes, use my discount code and you'll save money. And oh my god, like I couldn't have done this without obviously Paige loving me and like just you guys watching my videos, people on Instagram, and yeah, this just means the absolute world. I'm so over the moon, and yeah, I love everyone and thank you. Like, happy shopping. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, as requested, we are going to be doing a makeup look with the Plouise Valentine's collection. I've had a lot of requests to do a makeup look with this palette. I've also had, I've smudged it already. So I was supposed to be doing a Instagram live with the palette, but a lot of stuff's just been happening at the moment and I haven't had the chance. I've been transitioning in jobs, I've had family stuff going on. And if you can't tell by my voice or by the absolute state of me, I am full of the flu at the minute. I'm like absolutely like dying right now. But yeah, let's jump in and get to playing with some makeup. Okay, so I'm just grabbing my Plouise base in the shade Base 2. What? So I'm just grabbing my Plouise base. This is number 2, so Roma shade 2. Yeah, so you can either use a flat brush if you want more of like a defined brow. I'm just going to use a fluffy one. So I'm just packing the base all over my lid, and I'm using a tap immersion. Pat. No. Pat. No. Oh, fuck it. You just want to basically pat it into place. I'm just going to take it right down, like, why not? And I'm going to take it through the brow as well, because we don't want any skin showing. Obviously, if you did want a more carved brow, then you'd use like a different brush. So you want the base so that it's not wet. You want it kind of like, so like it kind of looks matte, but obviously it's not going to be matte. And then with a clean, fluffy brush, I'm just going to start buffing out the edges, because if this base dries, then it's not going to blend into your foundation or concealer, and you want everything to be really seamless. So doing this just helps. And a good thing about doing this is you can use this as like an eraser later for your eyeshadows if you go wrong. Okay, so just grabbing my Plouise, which one's this one? This is the Plouise 117. Yeah, this is the Plouise 117. It's like a big, like, well, it's like a really small crease brush. Like, it's really good for getting in the crease and doing all that stuff. So the first shade I'm going to dip into is called Thirst, and before we put that on our eye, I'm just going to make sure everything's tapped out, there's no creasing, and then taking the Plouise brush and that shade, I'm just going to start packing the product. And as you can see, it's got an amazing payoff. So I'll just zoom you in a little bit closer just so you can really see what I'm doing. So yeah, we're just literally dumping the shade right in to our crease. We're not worrying about blending anything at the minute. There is a little bit of fallout in the eyeshadow pan, but I'm not bothered about that, because that just means that I'm getting a lot of pigment out of the pan, out of the shadows. Like, you can tell I'm ill because I'm talking absolute shit. And then when we get to about here, I'm gonna start bringing it out. I'm not taking any extra product on my brush. I'm just working what's left on my brush, and from the tail, I'm just literally going to start dragging it out like this. And just creating kind of like a little curve like that. And I'm going to go back into the shade Thirst and just literally build up this little bit here, a little teeny bit. So I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to bring it out a little bit further like that. And then with my other brush, I'm going to take my base a little bit, I'm going to dip it in, and I'm going to rub it off like that. And then I'm just going to start sculpting this bit. And what you'll find is that it helps to like drag the shadow out a little bit. And like it just acts as like an eraser. So you see how like that's kind of like smudged out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back and I'm literally just going to tickle the edges. This brush is perfect for doing this because it's so small. And we're not going to concentrate too much on blending. We're literally just going to tickle the edges just so they're not harsh and they go into our next shade a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm happy with that at the moment, so I'm going to move on to the next shadow. So just taking a Morphe M562. If I had another Plouise brush, I'd be using a clean one of these. Obviously you can clean this off and go in with it, but I want this one with this colour. But yeah, I'm going to stock up on these brushes on payday because if obviously, as I say, if I had another one of these brushes, this would be perfect. But I'm going to use my Morphe one. It is a little bit smaller than the Plouise one, but I'm going to dip into the shade Play, and then with this shade, I'm literally going to go 50% on and 50% off that previous shade. And I'm just going to start tickling that in. The reason I like using these brushes is just because they're a little bit more precise. I do have hooded eyes, so they're just a little bit more precise in the blending and application. But when I do my third blend, I will be using a larger brush. But I'll obviously show you that. And looking, you can't, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like looking right down into my mirror and angling myself just so I can see that I'm getting right in there. Bringing this out a little bit as well. And I'm kind of angling my brush and just literally tickling it. And then just start bringing it out. And then just go back in and just start intensifying. So now I'm just going to start tickling the edge a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH32, and as you can see, this is a really big fluffy brush. And I'm going to dip into the shade Smitten. When you're holding your brush as well, I tend to hold mine right at the edge when I'm doing precise work, and when I just want like a blown out, I'll hold it at the edge. And then I'm just going to start again, 50% on, 50% off. And I'm just going to start blending that third shade into the other colour. And I am tapping my brush because I don't want a lot of pigment, I just want it to be like a nice blend of colour. So the reason I'm using a bigger, fluffier brush is because it really blurs the shadow out, just so you're not getting like a lot of oomph there. The brush kind of does the work for you in the blending if you use a bigger brush. And then again, when I get towards the end, I'm literally just going to dust this. And then what you can do again here is obviously just use your other blush, and then don't be afraid to go into your brow either, because I think that looks really pretty. I think the shade Smitten would be really beautiful as a blush as well. Okay, so just taking my Morphe M562 again, I'm going to dip back into Play. So now what we call this is the sandwich technique. So basically what we're doing here is we're going back in with our previous shades and we're going in and defining the colour, because as you can see, like, we've lost a lot of the colour there. So what we're doing is we're putting the colour back in and just making sure everything looks beautiful and blended and all that good stuff. I like to just flip in between brushes and just literally, it's all up to you really, just like blend how you want to blend really. But I like to flip in between brushes and go back in and out and just see where needs a little bit of work. So I'm just going to take my Plouise brush, dip back into Thirst, and then really intensify this crease colour, and you'll see it starting to come together now. But can you see how that's somewhat taking shape now? So once you're happy with your blends, you can decide whether or not you want to go into cutting your crease, and I'm somewhat happy with those. Yeah, just trusting the process. So I'm just going to grab some Vaseline and I'm going to try this technique that I've seen. It is a Plouise technique. I saw it in Conquer the Cut Crease. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it on myself, but we're going to try. So I'm just taking a Plouise brush. It's one of the flat brushes, and I'm just getting my Vaseline and coating both sides. I think this is what I do. And then I'm just going to start going kind of where I want to cut the crease. Now, if you're new to cutting your crease, what you can do is put a bit of concealer there and look up like that. And then wherever the concealer is, that's where you want to cut your crease. But I kind of know where I want to do mine nowadays. Just about there usually. So this Vaseline technique is supposed to help with making it sharper, like you cut sharper, and also be less irritating on your eye. I'm not really sure how I do it, but I'm trying. So I think I've done it right. I'm not too sure. But I'm going to get a wipe. Mine's just like a normal Johnson's wipe, like nothing special. And then I don't have really long nails, so I'm just going to start wiping, but being careful. Like, as you can see, the Vaseline just helps the slip, whereas with a just wipe alone, you'd really have to pull. Okay, so I think I've done that right. I know it's a little bit wonky, but I'm going to be using the bases. I'm not sure which one yet. Okay guys, so I was in the middle of using my metallic base, but I think I'm going to do it with blank canvas first. So just taking blank canvas, and I'm taking the Plouise 7071, I believe. I'm really excited to try this. Probably the wrong brush to use, or right brush, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to get some on the brush. So as you can see, that goes super thin. Like, look how thin that tip is. So obviously Plouise has designed this brush so that the tip is really tapered to cut the crease to perfection. So with this, I'm just going to start in this corner. Now the good thing about having just skin here is that the bases go on skin even better than they do on top of say shadow, which is good. So I'm just going to start cutting the crease of this a little bit, and you really want to take your time, but to be fair, this brush will do most of the work for you. Now the good thing about blank canvas is that it sets itself in 60 seconds, so it just takes out the work for you. I'm just going to take a smallish brush and I just want to buff this bit here, just because I really want it to be soft. As you can see, the blank canvas is so full coverage, and it's just so flawless. So again, with the base, what you want to do is pat it, and in 60 seconds it'll dry by itself and you're literally good to go. And I am absolutely loving this brush. This brush is everything. And then just taking my fluffy brush and literally just buffing it away again, like, because we don't want that. This is the problem with hooded eyes, waiting for things to dry. So what I should have told you is it's always a good thing to do your lower lash line, like to do the bottom before you do your crease. And what have I done? I've done my crease before my bottom. So now when I look up, it's going to transfer, but we'll work around it. Okay, so I'm going to take the shade, like, look at the state of my hand. I'm going to take the metallic base in Hooked Up, and again with the Acid Rain Collection brush, I'm going to start cutting this bit here. I'm going to have like a metallic lid, and because it's on bare skin, it's really going to like stick and be sickening. So I'm just going to get a bit of blank canvas on this fluffy brush, and I'm just going to put it just on the edge, and then what I'm going to do is put a shadow like blending into that. So I'm just going to put blank canvas like right on the edge and kind of like blend it into this bit a little bit, and then go back in with the metallic base. And then with the base, just really define this edge. So my plan of action is to wear a lash that is really winged out here, just so that it like looks quite cool. But look how sick that metallic base is, like, oh my god. So my eyes are really watery at the moment, so I'm not going to put anything in my lash line, but I am going to put a little bit of base underneath my eye and do the same blends. Okay, so I've decided to show you this, and the reason why you should do your lower lash before you do your crease, and it's because, can you see where the base has come off there? That is why you should always do your lower lash before your crease. But I'm thinking we're gonna solve it with the palette and a little bit more of the base. So I will show how I'm gonna solve that. But yeah, I'm just going in with the same 3 shades that I used on the top. So what goes up must come down. Alright guys, so we're going to sort out the top part now where I messed up. So I'm just going to take a little bit more of the metallic base, and I'm just going to like press it onto these bits that have come off. Obviously it's my own fault. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like a really flat brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Immersion, and I'm just going to start putting that on the lid just to like try and blend the two together. And it's actually a really nice shimmer shade. So I'm just putting that right on the edge like that, and then just kind of like bring it on top of the metallic base, but not all of the way, just so like they merge into one like that. And then taking a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna buff the edge a little bit. So I'm gonna take the shade Edge or Urge, and I'm gonna put it right in the, like, kind of in a corner, but not, just as like a little blush shade. And I'm also gonna bring it on the lower as well. Like, you can't hardly see that, but I can in real life, just for a little something. So I'm just gonna take a NYX pink glitter, and this is like a glitter liner, and I'm literally just gonna run it right along the edge. This glitter all over the lid. Actually, I'm gonna put it on a little bit of the lid just so that it like sparkles a little bit more. My eyes are so textured, it's so annoying when you've got hooded eyes and they're really textured. And then I'm just gonna take a tiny brush and just start like patting that in a little bit. Like, it just gives it more like a bit of something, if that makes sense. Come this far, I can't turn him back now. So I'm just taking my Plouise lash, which has got a really nice wing to it. And I'm pretty sure, I think these ones are doubled. So I've got 2 pairs of Plouise lashes in these. Like, they're extra as fuck, but yeah, you get the idea. Alright guys, so that's look number 1 on that eye. So we're gonna do something on this eye, and then we'll do the overall base makeup. But yeah, so far, so good. Alright guys, so for this eye, I'm thinking we do something really nice and soft. So again, just taking a fluffy brush, this is just what I like to do. And then I'm going to take the shade Ego. This wasn't part of the plan, but I'm going to take it on the Plouise brush again. And I'm just going to start putting that on the end of the lid, like there, up to where I feel a dent in my lid. And then I'm going to start doing the same on the inner corner. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start somewhat wiggling the shade. Again, if you make any mistakes like I have there, just take your eraser and just literally just start going round there and just make it the shape that you want. And it literally, if you use the base to do this, it literally erases any unwanted eyeshadow, and you can achieve the shape that you want. And then when I want to blow it out a little bit, I'll hold the brush a little bit further down, which just allows me a little bit of control. So with this shade, I'm just going to tickle it into the middle a little bit. So next I'm going to take the shade KRS and kind of mix it a little bit with Diverted, and I'm just going to take that on a fluffy brush. I don't know why I'm using a Morphe one, I'm addicted. But I'm just going to take that on like a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to start blending this purpley shade out, and I'm hardly touching my eye. So then taking an even fluffier brush, this is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH31, taking the shade Satisfy, and then with that, I'm just literally gonna run it right up into the brow bone. So I'm taking the shade Satisfy and I'm literally just using that to blend that pinky shade out and kind of set the base that's up here in my brow bone, and it'll also help with the blend of this shadow. And then with the same brush, I'm gonna take the shade Edge, and with this, I'm literally just gonna tickle it right in the inner corner. So I'm gonna go back in with our first shade, and I'm just gonna start again the sandwich technique, and I'm just really gonna play with this as it's like a not necessarily like a structured look. I'm just gonna play with it, see how I feel about the shades, where I want them. So before I do the middle shade, I'm gonna go on and do the bottom lash. I really want them to come out with a Plouise mirror. Like, Paige, if you're watching this, please come out with a Plouise mirror. Like, I know you bang on about all the time, like, oh, I only come out with products that revolutionise the industry. Yes, you do, but bitch, I need a fucking mirror. Like, as much as I love Fenty Beauty, I love you, but give me a fucking mirror. Like, I know I've got a mirror in the palette, but bitch, like, I know I want muscles, but another thing is, when you become a makeup artist, learning how to hold 50,000 different things in your hand is not a problem. Okay, so when I'm doing my under eye, I know I showed you this one somewhat, but when I'm doing my under eye, I really like to take a brush like this. So this is a Jaclyn Hill JH42, and it's really, really flat. So I'm gonna dip into Eager, or shall I do a different colour? In fact, I'm gonna dip into KS. Before you go in, you wanna make sure that there's no creases. And the reason I like to use this is because if you go, this can get right under your lashes, and then you just like literally press it, and like look at the pigment, and two, it's just so much better. Like, you can get underneath your lashes and you can start going side to side and blending it out like that. And yeah, that's just something I learned while I was at the academy. The thing I love about the academy as well is that each artist, you learn different things off. At first it was super annoying because you say like you get taught to carve out the brow by one, and then another they'll be like, oh no, I do it this way, and you're like, but I've just learned that way, like, help. But it is amazing because you learn off of every single different artist that's there, and let me tell you, every single one of them is unique in their own way. Literally, every single one of them is amazing. I don't have favourites, but if I had to pick, oh, I'm gonna get hated for this. If I had to pick a favourite, I'd probably say, can I do this? Fuck it. Eleanor. I just love Eleanor. Like, she taught me the most sickest green look. It's on my Instagram. But yeah, Eleanor is amazing. Like, they're all amazing, but Eleanor is my bae. But even like Jess is so like, oh, I'm moving on. Okay, so I'm just taking like a fluffier brush, and I'm just gonna like smudge that out a little bit, and then I'm gonna dip into Diverted, which is a palet pink, and I'm just gonna start moving side to side with that, and then taking an even fluffier brush. This is a Jaclyn Hill JH40, and I'm just gonna take the shade Edge. I'm just gonna literally use this to dust right underneath. So guys, I'm just going back in with the shade Edge, and I'm literally just going right in the inner corner and just brushing it up a little bit and bringing it round and swirling, just so that everything's nice and blended. It might look a mess to some, but I'm actually really loving how it looks. It's kind of looking like monochromatic-y. And then the base that I'm going to go in with is, I'm going to use the metallic base in the shade You're Glowing. Alright guys, so apparently I wasn't recording. So, basically I'm going in with this Jessup 230 brush, which is quite like a, yeah, you know what it is. I'm taking the base You're Glowing from obviously Plouise, and we're working in sections. So I'm working really, really slowly, because if you go in too hard, the base can get a little funky. Because obviously you're putting wet on top of wet on top of wet, and you're not letting it settle down, you're not letting it dry. So obviously it can cause a lot of problems. So you want to wet slow. And also, we're using this brush because we want to like diffuse it. So we're placing it in the middle, but then we're lightly taking whatever's left onto the rest. Like we're just like doing this. So tapping it out. So I've just switched for a Morphe JH40, which is a little bit more fluffier and less dense. So I'm just continuing to tap this onto the eye, and I'm bringing it up a little bit here as well, just as I would any pigment. And you can see how absolutely stunningly metallic they are. So once the base is dry, guys, what you can do is you can go in with the same shade that you used. I'm going to take the lightest amount, and I'm just going to start like bringing it into the base. And what this will do is it'll just ensure that everything's somewhat blended and there's no like harsh lines, and it'll just look really beautiful. Like, can you see like the ombre effects that it gives? And then obviously on this side here, you can see that there's a harsh line, whereas that one just like shifts in between both colours. Like, can you see just how suddenly that made it 100 times softer, and now it shifts between colours? That's why we do it. So then what I'm going to do, just to really intensify, is take a smaller brush, and I'm just going to take whatever's left of the base on my hand, and I'm just going to put it right in the centre, just to really intensify it. So I'm just going to take this Plouise thing. I got it scent free, and it's called Glow Me Baby. And as you can see, it's like a pinky, goldy highlighter blush kind of thing. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take a teeny bit, and I'm just going to rub that on my brow bone, just to give like a little hint of glow. And I love this shade because I just love brow highlighter. I think it's really stunning. Obviously I haven't done my brows yet, but yeah, we're going to get there. And like, it just gives a little summer. We are going to go in with Plouise highlighter, so bear with me for that. So I'm going to take the Once Upon a Time highlighter. I'm just going to place it right there. Like, look how intense that is. Like, it just makes the eye look just different. And then I'm going to take it on the other one, but I'm only going to do it a teeny bit, like that, like the tiniest bit. Alright guys, so I've just gone in with a Tatti Lash Times Mitchell, just because the Plouise one is more winged out, whereas because this is somewhat of a halo eye, it seemed to fit. So we're going to do base now, finally. The eyes are kind of cute, obviously not my best, but it's something. So I'm just going to start cleaning up. So the reason why I'm cleaning up is in case we have any fallout. Obviously we don't want to have all of this base under here. So if you've got any shadow fallout or anything like that, it's always good to do this so that you clean up. So I already moisturised earlier on. Obviously I've just rubbed a little bit away. But at Plouise, they don't prime. They like to go on bare skin, so I'm going to do that today because it's what I usually do. Obviously you can prime, it's up to you. I personally would prime, but when I'm doing makeup looks like this, I don't usually. So yeah, so for foundation I usually go in with MAC NC30, but I've run out, so I'm going to go in with some Charlotte Tilbury. Here we go. So I'm going to take a Peaches and Cream brush, it's quite dense, and I'm just going to start patting this into the skin. So the reason why we pat and use a brush like this is because it gives us the fullest coverage. And to be fair, it does go on really beautiful when you pat it. Obviously when you're rubbing, you are disturbing it, but these Peaches and Cream brushes for foundation are phenomenal. They're absolutely beautiful for foundation, as you can see. Like, so I'm going to take a bit of Plouise base shade 2, and then I'm going to take a Peaches and Cream PC29, and I'm just going to take a teeny bit of base, and I'm just going to start putting this on as concealer. It's really amazing for concealer. It's really creamy. And then my foundation brush, I take the other side of that as well, just kind of buff it in. Now when it comes to this bit, I take the fluffy brush again, and I really just like go careful and just start lightly buffing the concealer or base into where it needs to go, and you'll find that everything just marries into each other really beautifully. And then once that's all done, I'll go in with my foundation brush and just start tapping the edges here just so it like blends into the foundation, and then that's what it should look like really seamless. Obviously you can go lighter in your concealer if you use that sort of thing. Okay, so for powder, I take the MAC Studio Fix powder in NC30 and a brush like this. This is a Jaclyn Hill one, JH7, and I just like to dab, press, swell, and just literally set the areas that need setting. Now this is a foundation, so it will change the colour a little bit, but also it gives like a little bit more coverage as well to the skin, which obviously we all absolutely love. Okay, I look really pale on camera. That's why I use Studio Fix by MAC, because it is quite dark. We're gonna go in with bronzer now. So for bronzer, I'm gonna use the Doll Beauty Gimme Sun, and I'm gonna use this brush. This is the Jaclyn Hill JH5, and I'm just gonna start stamping it. And this is gonna look crazy, but this is what I do for the gram. So when I do it like in an upward circular motion. So I'm gonna go over my bronzer with a little bit of MAC Dark Tan. It was because the Doll Beauty one it was nice, but a little bit too pinky red. Okay, so I'm quickly gonna do my brows because I am looking weird as fuck. So I'm just taking the NYX brown mascara in the shade Brunette, and I'm just gonna start brushing my hairs up. So that is the difference, like, oh my god. Okay, so for lip, I think I want to do something really, really nudie, like a bit dark. So I'm going to take a Peaches and Cream lip pencil. You can get a set of 5 for £15, I believe. And I'm just going to use this to line my lips. A fun tip is that I don't actually know how to line my lips. So I'm going to go in with a Doll Beauty lipstick, and this is in the shade C'est La Vie. And then I'll take my finger and blend in everything together. So I'm just going to try and save this by going in with Plouise Holo Gloss, which has actually been discontinued, but you know, sorry about that. Alright guys, please excuse the lip. I'm not used to putting lip liners on, so I think it's a little bit wonky, but I have tried and saved it. But yeah, it's what it is. So we're gonna get into highlighter, yay! So for highlighter, I'm gonna be taking Once Upon a Time, because it's just my favourite. She did say that you can wet the brush and it'll be more metallic, but I'm too scared to do that. I might try it, I might not, but we're just gonna start applying this on the cheeks. So I don't really have any blush. I'm gonna do the other side in a minute, but I'm gonna dive into this Revolution palette. And maybe if I just do this shade here, because I don't want it to be too pink, so maybe if I just dive into that, just so that there's something there. Like, can you tell? Yeah, you can tell. Bitch, look at that highlighter. Down the bridge of the nose, like, oh my, look at that highlighter. Oh my god. Okay guys, and there we have it. 2 looks with the Plouise Valentine's Love Tapes palette and collection. Bitch, that highlighter. But yeah, so that is the eyes, like a kind of funky, punky halo eye with the metallic base, and then you kind of got like a cut creasy metallic base going on. Obviously the highlighter, oh my god, holo gloss. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it took so long, and especially on Instagram, I'm so sorry it took so long for there as well. But yeah, you've got 2 looks and I'm pretty happy with them. They're not my best work, especially not on other people. Like on other people, oh my god, I can slay that bitch. Yeah, I'm pretty happy, pretty decent. That highlighter there, oh my god, like bitch. Obviously the bronze is a little bit funky because it's not the right shade. I haven't used my MAC. Usually when I use it all together, oh my god, it looks so good. Like if I threw a wig on now as well, I'm not gonna bother, but yeah, just saying. So yeah guys, I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know what you think below. The pigment's insane. The brushes are so beautiful and so good. I'm definitely stocking up on those. Yeah, the lashes I've got on, the metallic bases there. To say I haven't used any glitter whatsoever, like, ugh. And yeah, the highlighter. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.